NYC to LIB. The song is dedicated to David Waterbaugh. Open school for the deaf. Your passion inspires us all. Let's go.
You could go with your hands and listen with your eyes. Then you will realize that I'm just like you, oh, I'm just like you. I'm just like you, oh, I'm just like you. I'm just like you, oh, I'm just like you. I'm just like you,
The fact is that we all are the same, and it's nice. We all be treated the same. Recognize me, take me as a friend. We can dance and play with opportunity and chance. I know I'm deaf, I know I can, yeah. We can change the world, it doesn't matter of my life. Recognize me, don't criticize me. The truth is that I can do it for my people. They are the future, give them attention. Provide the chance for more innovation. Just like you, I can do the thing you do. I'm important, what's it that discuss me? Do not understand, divided before. All we need is only one love. All we need is only one love.
You could talk with your hands and listen with your eyes. Then you will realize that I'm just like you, oh, I'm just like you. I'm just like you, oh, I'm just like you. I'm just like you, oh, I'm just like you. I'm just like you, oh.
I can't hear, but yes, I can't see. And what I see is that you don't see me. You might not understand the movement of my hands, but you need to understand I still got a plan. I still got a dream. I want to be seen. I will be seen. And dreams come true. And not just for you. If I persevere, I'm into the life as if I could hear. Girlfriend, what? That ain't what's up. Boy, don't let that spill out your cup. Boy, I'd advise you to pick that up. They calling me dumb boy, for what? Better change that. That's a fact. I got skills you can't imagine, black. I talk with my hands. This is with my eyes. Time to realize I'm just like you.
Oh, I'm just like you. I'm just like you. Oh, I'm just like you. I'm just like you. Oh, I'm just like you. I'm just like you. Oh, if you are president, I'm just like you. If you are director, I'm just like you. If you are minister, I'm just like you. If you are policeman, I'm just like you. Oh, oh. I'm just like you, oh, oh, I'm just like you.
Yeah, my Liberian people, man, we gotta talk about it because it's important. Because the people then, not because say the people can hear, so that means they're not important in the society. No, we gotta call them to for decision making. You understand? So that whole hand, only thing we need are that one love, yeah? All we need is that one love. All we need is that one love.
You can talk with your hands and listen with your eyes. Then you will realize that I'm just like you, oh, I'm just like you. I'm just like you, oh, I'm just like you. I'm just like you, oh, I'm just like you. I'm just like you, oh. 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 I'm just like you, oh.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women. Welcome to the Tony Commander, J.R. Glapohkpa Chesson talk show. Woke up this morning to nice lower 50s degrees in Providence, Rhode Island. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. It's warm and nice. We have the prospects of a good day. We also know that a judge just shut down the mask mandate and on planes and wherever you're supposed to wear it. Is that true? I just caught a glimpse of it on the news. I saw all these people happy taking off the mask. Then I saw the writing that a judge had shut down the mandate. I'm wearing mine. In spite of the fact that we may not be compelled to wear masks anymore, I'm an old man. I got to take care of my health and govern myself accordingly. What's your stand on this? While you're thinking about that, let's look at my topics for this morning. My topics are: in Liberia, we demand justice to now, with the judge now. Because of all this thing that's going on in our country, we demand justice now. Secondly, who can we trust in Liberia's press today? Who can we trust? And third and finally, Buduburam Liberian Refugee Camp community starting their orientation today. We're going to see them as they enter the classroom and begin the process of starting their self-help vocational baking school. So let's take a minute. Let me take a sip of my coffee, take a break, go through the routine. You know what it is. And I'll be back with my show shortly. So yesterday, we got the autopsy report back. And my topic for today will cover all of that. Because in Liberia, we demand justice now. Yesterday, the government of the Republic of Liberia gave the autopsy report involving the death of Princess Cooper. This thing that has been going on for the past 2 weeks now, families have been arrested, people have been protesting, and the government of Liberia finally released the autopsy report yesterday. But that report is not a true report of how Princess Cooper died. It's not a true report. From all the circumstantial evidence, her calling her friend and telling her friend, well, her friend said they didn't tell her that. She didn't tell her that. In the newspaper, in the Providence, in the front page, I keep saying Providence, sorry, forgive me, I'm in Providence, Rhode Island. In the front page, African newspaper, on the day of Princess Cooper's death, the newspaper reported that she called her friend. And when her friend answered the phone, she said to her friend, "They're killing me." And that was in the newspaper. And that's what we have been hearing and been believing since she died. Now we come to see the evidence of her friend, the friend that she called, testimony before the police of Liberia. She said Princess did call her on the day at the time she died. She did call her. And when she called her, she didn't say anything. So she kept saying, Princess, you call me, what you gotta say, what you gotta say. Then she said she saw the picture of the buildings. She showed the buildings on the phone. The phone turned towards the building. She saw this tall building. Then she was about to hang up when Princess came on. And when she saw Princess, there was blood coming out of her nose and her mouth. And that was the last thing she saw, and the phone went off. And she kept trying to call her back. She said Princess didn't say anything to her. She don't know where people got the news from that Princess said they're killing me. She said Princess never said that. She just looked at her. She saw blood coming from her nose and her mouth. And that was the last she heard of her. From the autopsy report yesterday, the pathologists, the government's pathologists, said that prior to the incident of Princess's death, she had gone to a hospital, a local hospital, where they got reports from that Princess had congestion or something. And from the examination of her body, they have come to the conclusion that she was suffering from tuberculosis. So that was what she died from. Now, come on, my people. I'm not a doctor. I listened to the family. I think he's a doctor. I don't know who he is, but the spokesman for the family. And he spoke about the various types of tuberculosis. How you can have tuberculosis of the chest and tuberculosis of the stomach or intestine. And that's where you pass out blood. Blood in your stool. And when you have it in your chest, you cough up blood. So for somebody to die from the disease of tuberculosis, you have to lose weight. You have to have a lot of problem with coughing and bleeding from the mouth. There's a whole lot of symptoms that you develop before you die. You lose a lot of weight. And that alone was contrary to the fact with Princess Cooper. She was a healthy young woman. Nobody reported her coughing or blood or coughing consistently, things that are associated with people who have tuberculosis. She wasn't doing that. So how would it come out that she died from a disease that tears a person's body apart? And this girl was looking healthy and beautiful until the day she died. That is impossible. It is impossible. There is no way that Princess Cooper could have died of tuberculosis. No way. No way. So the family having problem with the situation with the government. The family said they have written to the Minister of Justice and have not received any redress. They did not tell us what their communication with the justice minister was, but they told us that they sent an email and forwarded a CC copy to the lawyer, Tawan Gangolo, who is the lawyer. They forwarded one to him, and he wrote back that he had received it. So it is certain that the justice minister received his too, although they have not heard from him. So this is where the kids are with the family. they're not satisfied with the result of the autopsy. They're saying that from the symptoms associated with the disease and Princess Cooper's activities and physical health before and during her death do not match up with what are the symptoms and causes of death from tuberculosis. So this is where we are. Even the president of the Republic of Liberia does not believe the report. George Weah came up right after that and ordered the Justice Minister, Musa Ding, to release the body to the family for independent pathologist report and examination. So this just goes to show you that the president himself of the Republic of Liberia is now saying, no, we got to check this thing out. There must be a second autopsy on this matter. Let the family have the opportunity to do an independent autopsy and let them find out how and why their daughter died. So there's a problem. There's a problem when the president himself can come out and say, we need a second examination. There's a problem. So it just shows to avoid further crisis in the nation. We got people going to jail. With the family been to jail already. The protest is not stopping. It's going on. And people are coming forward and saying this is not right. We stand with the family who don't believe this. So here we are with the case. As we wait for a second pathologist report, an independent pathologist report, if the family can afford it, we listen to the voices of Liberian people fighting for justice and how they're tired with all this thing that's going on in our country. So let's take a moment and just listen to the supporters of this family and Liberians fighting for justice in our nation.
So thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the press. We want to say thank you to the family of the late Princess Cooper. We are in solidarity with the family and all well-meaning Liberians who seek to receive justice in this country. All other persons who have died mysteriously. Equally so, we have received the report from the government, the autopsy report. And we are also in line with the family. We are also in line with the family. Whatever decision that will be taken by the family, we will follow suit as a civil society organization, the United Voices Against Injustice. We will maintain that we will remain peaceful in this process. We will remain peaceful and engage national government. We are also calling on philanthropists to come up now. We are also calling on all well-meaning Liberians to stand up to this call. This call of justice is not just about Princess Cooper. The fact that we are not living in peace, which is in the absence of justice, there is no peace. So we need peace, which is we need justice. So when justice prevails, our people will live freely. So that is my statement as a chairperson. We'll move to the spokesperson.
Okay, spokesman, you can just... Okay, thank you very much. We say thank you to the press. You've been with us in this, and we are not going to rest. We will not sit until this issue is resolved. We are with the family in solidarity with the entire Liberia. This is not only about this family. The country is concerned. The citizens are not safe. We feel that we're not safe, And until this issue is resolved, we are not going to sit. We will be peaceful as we have always been, and will seek all of the means necessary to have Princess and all other Liberians who've been mysteriously killed receiving justice. The autopsy report, we align with the family. It is not acceptable. Thank you.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen of the press, we thank you. We thank you very much. We thank you for your sacrifices you continue to make, and we're also appreciating you, not just because you are following up on this case. We're appreciating you again for the level of professionalism you continue to prohibit. You continue to exist. So, but what we are saying lastly to you, if you are going to your various institutions, please make sure to never include anything that have not been stated here, but the only thing that should be included in the news are things that have been stated here. Never project anything on your own, because people got you on question mark. They said it to your faces, and then you gotta be very careful about writing your news. They said it that you are very unprofessional. So thank you for coming. United Voices Against Injustice. We stand by the family of Princess Kopo. We appreciate you. Thank you.
So thank you. That was the official reaction from the just they just released autopsy report on the release of the late.
So there you heard it. The family do not agree with the report. The social community organization stands with the family because they too do not agree with the report, the autopsy report, that Princess Cooper died of tuberculosis. I do not agree with that report. So here we are. George Weah has requested or ordered another report. But in the meantime, Liberians must remain steadfast in our position that we want justice. We demand justice now for all the deaths and killings and ripping of our children. The time of the Liberian people is now, and these things must cease and desist in our society effective immediately. We want law and order. We want the rule of law in Liberia, and only we can guarantee the rule of law for ourselves. The time of the Liberian people is now. We must rise up. We must stand strong. We must not relent nor be afraid of tear gas. We must stand strong and demand justice now in Liberia. My lesson on this topic is done. The time of the Liberian people is now. So we see in our society, we have some serious issues. Besides what is going on that we just talked about, justice, we want to know now, who can we trust in Liberia's press today? Who can we trust? We see the other day, Henry Costa released pictures of a man that worked or works for Jefferson Koji, the mayor of the city of Monrovia. This man was Jefferson Koji's employee. Something happened while they were working at Koji's house, Apparently some food or rice got wasted or something happened with the security, between the security and the houseboy. The houseboys beat, the security beat the houseboy. When Jefferson Koji came, the security relayed the news to Jefferson Koji, and he demanded that they further commit violence on this man. I showed the picture on my page where his back was all scratched up and beaten up. His hands were swollen from being handcuffed so tight, and other things. While those are going on, yesterday also, Front Page Africa newspaper came out with a report demeaning Henry Costa, talking about how Henry Costa had persistently and consistently lied on Jefferson Koji, the mayor of the city of Monrovia, and they wanted to know why. From 2018, when they had the District 13 election and riot, when Costa reported that Koji shot and killed 3 people and buried their body, it wasn't formed. Then he talked about how Koji bought a house in Cinco for 200 plus K. And the report went on with lies, or unsubstantiated reports from Henry Costa from 2018 until yesterday. So now, all of you who are my followers have seen my post. I posted one with Jefferson Koji and the pictures that Henry Costa sent us and how he demeaned the mayor of Monrovia because of his violence and his wickedness towards Liberians. Then I also did a collage blasting Henry Costa for lying on Jefferson Koji because of Front Page Africa news report. Now the climax is all. We were watching the news this morning from Liberia on Cool FM, the morning drive with Wiki, what's his name? Wiki and Ja. And these guys were playing this. You have to hear it because this supports what Henry Costa said about Jefferson Koji yesterday when he sent those pictures out about how he beat his employee and locked him up in the generator room with all food, and how this is a constant report of how the mayor of Monrovia, Jefferson Koji, treats his employees. Rodney C. and Front Page Africa newspaper, in other words, denied this and went after Henry Costa for lies against the mayor. So this morning on the morning drive, Wiki, what is Wiki's name, man? Wiki, I can't remember Wiki name. Wiki and Va played the recording of the employee that Jefferson Koji allegedly had his security beat up and locked up. And this recording reveals the truth about what Henry Costa said about Jefferson Koji and how he beat up this man and locked him up, and he beat his employee. Listen to it.
The mission of doing that is a staying place. Yesterday I come on church meeting. The men come out of reggae wasted from in the security booth. They put together and say, I don't want to waste the food, so I should go jail. I said, well, I don't waste that food, I will go jail. Right, all the whole group join me. They came me to the pool hang on my hand. The Yakoji gun, I had to go as me to Miyakoji say, oh, I had an MPA. You're laying down, I report, they give me the all my proof for me, report, they give me the hang on me with the hang on. Yesterday, I mean, of falling in Liberia, I mean, of pity on the wing. Or today, they say, tonight, they come and pick me again. Cherry put me in the generator room and the food I got wasting at the Pomala on the ground. Anything that the Pomala, anything that food I waste there. They put me in the generator room. I think the generator.
So Koji's security commander had rice. And somehow the rice wasted. And they blame this employee of Koji. He said, I didn't waste it. How would I waste the rice? They said, you wasted it. And all of them jumped on him and beat him and jailed him in the generator room at Koji's house. That way they jailed him. When Koji came home, they told Koji, and Koji said, oh, that what you did? Strip him naked. And he made them strip the boy naked, beat him, and lock him up in the generator room. So yesterday, he said, during the rain in Monrovia yesterday, he said all during the rain, they were beating him. And they said they're going to beat him again today. And this is what was recorded and played on the morning ride or drive this morning on this show. I recorded it from there. So let's listen to it again. This is Jefferson Koji's employee telling us how Jefferson Koji made his security officers strip him naked and beat him and locked him up. And he was still in jail up to this recording.
Yesterday, I come on church meeting. The men from other reggae wasted from in the security booth. They put together and say, I don't want to waste the food. So I should go jail. I said, well, I don't waste that food, I will go jail. Right, all the whole group join me. They came me to the pool hang on my hand. The Yakoji gun, I had to go as me to Miyakoji say, oh, I had an MPA. You're laying down, I report, they give me the all my proof for me, report, they give me the hang on me with the hang on. Yesterday, I mean, of falling in Liberia, I mean, of pity on the wing. Or today, they say, tonight, they come and pick me again. Cherry put me in the generator room and the food I got wasting at the Pomala on the ground. Anything that the Pomala, anything that food I waste there. They put me in the generator room. I think the generator.
So here it is. I know that this is during the election time, and we hear all kinds of stories coming up, pros and cons for this government and against this government. But we depend on people in the press, certain news agencies we rely on because of their truthfulness and trustworthiness to give us good reporting, truthful reporting from Liberia. And it hurts me to hear about Henry Costa and his situation with Jefferson Koji, and to read in the newspaper yesterday on front page African newspaper all the things they said about Henry Costa, then to come and find out that Jefferson Koji is indeed a monster. Is a real monster. And because of this, we have to be skeptical about what he's saying in denial of the things that he has been accused of doing during the war with Charles Taylor and Chucky Taylor. We've got to be very mindful of Jefferson Koji. And if he's as violent and wicked and evil as this video tape and reports of his behavior portray, then he must be brought to justice like all the other criminals in Liberia. The time of the Liberian people is now. We've been abused, killed, raped, lied to, run amok, destroyed, and imprisoned and put down for over 40, 50 years. Enough is enough. We need leadership, profound leadership. I don't have to be at the top, but I can tell you how we should structure our lives. Question our officials and eventually punish them for their behaviors. We can't go on like this. We cannot go on like this. We have to change our destiny. We have to rise up and do what we have to do to change the direction of our lives, our leadership, and eventually our country. The time of the Liberian people is now. Aluta continua. My class on this topic is done. This is an election time. But our institutions that we rely on for news and information must remain steadfast and truthful to our society. If we don't have people we can depend on to give us truthful information, what society do we have? Our society is broken down. And can we ever bring it back to some sensible semblance of good governance? That's a big question. That's a big question. And I leave it with you. Let me take a break and I'll tell you about my people on the Buduburam Refugee Camp and their orientation today. My people on the Buduburam Refugee Camp in Ghana are having their self-help vocational baking school orientation now as we speak. We have come a long way. In less than 4 months, we furnished a room, electrified it, put bars around the windows and door, put in a new door, put in two industrial ovens, gas ovens, built a table, built benches, built a blackboard, put up a wall fence, electrified the building to have the people, my people, start a self-help educational program to change their lives. For me, this is a blessing. For them, this is a great accomplishment because they too participated in the painting and cleaning up and doing everything for their own school. Now this morning, they're supposed to be having an orientation, telling them the rules and regulations of the school and what they need to know and buy because they need aprons and all of that. And we can't buy it, but we supply it for them to buy so they can start their school. Everything is affordable, self-help program. So let's take just a little brief view at what they're doing now because I got some video from the CEO, Mr. Rolandson Joloka, of them on the camp. The class is about to come together for the orientation. Let's see what they're doing. That-
There's a first the panel. You can see when you ask them to start the process. You can see there's the gate, Pennington gate. You can see one of the teacher. You can see roof, one of the staff. You see everybody, the students still coming in. You can see person in there, student entering. Or some be starting the program. Yeah, you can see our computer analyst, man, doing some work. You can see for yourself. You can see the student waiting. Yeah, the people coming in. You see the parent in action. Yeah, you can see. Waiting the student to come. Yeah, thank God. Our field student. You can see they are sitting and waiting for teacher to conduct the rotation. You can see. Yeah, it's the pastor. And one of the staff, SPCC. I see the roof. Yes, here. You're waiting on the student to come. You see Mr. K, our computer analyst. You can see. You see. He's working on it. You see. No, also? Okay. Catch me to the
So as you can see, they about that amount already in there. I want to extend my thanks and appreciation to all our sponsors. I couldn't do this without sponsors. You put up the money, and I thank you very much. I hope that God will bless us and you, that as these young people learn how to bake and learn how to be self-sufficient, God will bless you in your endeavors for making their lives a little better. That's the end of my class for today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Attorney Commander J.R. Glapohkpa Chesson from Providence, Rhode Island. Have a good day. My class is done. In the cause of